Hi everyone, I'm Ken,
I'm Jen.
and we are at the Holistic Revolution in Wyandotte, Michigan, and we are back with another offering of the Revolution Approved podcast.
Yes.
And today we are going to talk about something that we both are very passionate about. It has to do with nutrition, so if you're into eating food, you might want to pay attention for the next few minutes. We're going to talk about what we call no rules nutrition. Now, what do we mean by no rules nutrition?
We mean
I thought it was pretty self-explanatory in the title. But
take all of the rules out of your eating
and
habits.
throw them out the window.
What does that mean? Stop attaching rules to everything.
So an example of, to be clear, an example of a rule would be what?
Don't eat X. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. Eat at specific times. Only eat this.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I can dig that. So kind of like, don't eat anything after 7 p.m. because after 7 p.m. your body's metabolism magically will do things that it doesn't do at 6:59.
Yeah, you'll turn into a pumpkin.
Okay. Well, pumpkins are very high in vitamin C, so it might not be
pumpkins
bad.
are also very round.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is a thing. Now we are. I think I'll speak for both of us for a second. We're both very passionate about this topic and about we'll call it quote unquote the industries, meaning diet, fitness, nutrition industries role in absolutely just flipping people, spinning them around so much that they don't know up from down. And one of those ways that they do that is by augmenting your reality with these rules.
Yeah.
So therefore, fruits have existed on the planet for, I don't know, millions of years, but now all of a sudden carrots are bad. Too much sugar.
Too much sugar.
You can't, like we mentioned earlier, you can't eat after specific times. Now you have intermittent fasting is popular. So I do this starvation thing. I only eat between 12 and 6, and then I do this and that. So a lot of times from my perspective as a coach, I think that these rules, while people would think that they would give them like a thing to work in, they actually lead to confusing them more and more.
Yeah.
And the farther and farther they get down the rules well, the more they start to see that the rules start to contradict each other, and then there's special rules for special rules.
Yeah.
And then there's
so what happens is you create so many parameters around a goal that now it becomes so out of reach because the walls that you've built up around these things, are so high and so thick that you can't get to that goal. And you're going to ultimately either quit the goal altogether, or you're going to smash through like the Kool-Aid man through the wall.
Oh yeah.
and totally like blow out whatever you were trying to accomplish in the first place. So I am a huge believer in like, just stop being so neurotic. Stop trying to fill your day with rules and regulations and, red lines and I can't do this and I can do this, but I can't do that. And it has to be this time and it has to be, I can eat an apple, but it has to be red and it has to be sliced and I can't have the core and I can't, all these things. Like, stop giving yourself all these rules. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, I think that in the beginning, you have to be as open as possible because people are coming from a wide variety of backgrounds. So it's like, okay, well, you got the athletic pursuit person, you got maybe the stay-at-home mom person, maybe you have the guy who's just looking to get in better shape because he turned 40 or 50, whatever, right? Okay. So there's lots of different perspectives that people are coming from, and I think that at least when we meet people, when we meet them where they're at, like a coach should, we start to see that these things are more of a hindrance than they are a benefit. So it just seems to complicate like that. That would be, I mean, we can make this video 6 hours long with all the issues that are around this topic. Yeah, we're not going to, because we have things to do. So besides this video, so but with saying that though, that like it just muddies the waters. And that's not what you need. Like, change is already hard enough. It already takes enough energy. It takes a lot of energy just to say, hey, you know, I'm going to get up and go to the gym. I'm going to trade in, you know, these behaviors for these behaviors. That requires energy, okay? And a host of other things. So by lumping all of these extras in, you just complicate things more. And then that serves to take more energy from you. I mean, I can't... Every day we see on social media something about what do you think about this, or what do you think about that, or and then here comes a host of A, unqualified opinions first of all, and then B, more of what you just talked about. Well, in this situation do this, and then in this situation do that, and it's like the person just wants to look good in a shirt.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about making small changes over time, right? They equal big changes. We talk about this at length all the time. We've probably talked about it here. If you are looking to, you know, make strength gains, right? For an example, you want to increase your strength little by little, and over time, that will equal a huge gain. Nobody is going to make a huge strength gain immediately. It's going to take time, little increments over time. So why would you think it would be any different for your nutrition, or if you're trying to lose weight? Nobody who ever has binge dieted or lost a crazy amount of weight by cutting all these things or by creating all these rules has been able to sustain that. And you're going to ultimately gain all your weight back, probably, you know, upwards of what, 10-20% more. You are going to fail. You're setting yourself up. So if you want to make these lifestyle changes and you want to keep them, you know, over time and for the rest of your life, and hopefully that's for many, many years, you need to do them in small increments, and you need to set yourself up for success as opposed to failure. And what does that look like? That looks like, you know, maybe I really want to drink more water. That's a wonderful goal. How are you going to do that? It's not going out to the store and buying the, you know, 64-ounce cup with the big honking straw that's really for Slurpees, but you're going to put it in your water cup and think that you're going to smash 1 or 2 of those in a day, and that's just going to, you know, be sustainable, and you're not going to have any repercussions from that. It's not going to happen. What would be a small, successful increment would be maybe add 8 ounces of water a day. Maybe do that for a couple of days. And then maybe now you're up to, say you started at 0, now you're at 8 ounces over the course of maybe 5 or 7 days. Now go to maybe 12 ounces, right? That seems small enough. It seems perfectly reasonable. Do that for another 5, 7, 10 days, right? And then go to maybe 16 ounces. Small increments over time that are going to not only be more sustainable for you, the change is going to be minimal to where now you don't feel crazy or like a water balloon or like you're going to explode or you got to run to the bathroom every 5 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. These things are now more sustainable. The change is so minimal to you that maybe you don't even notice, right? Until you get a couple weeks in or even a couple days in and you're like, wow, I feel a lot better. Wow, I've been able to do that. Okay, I can do this, right? You set yourself up for success. You have some positive momentum. Now you feel good. You feel a little bit empowered in your decisions, right? I've made good decisions. I've been able to stick with them. Not, I set myself up for failure and inevitably did fail, and now I feel like shit because it's another thing I failed at. You know,
becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy,
right?
And that's, and that's one thing that we're huge on. Everything that you just described is creating a habit.
Yes.
So now you created a positive habit. You've went from that example, 0 ounces, which I hope there's no one drinking 0 ounces of water, but I'm sure there are. 0 to 8, after a week to 16 to 24, to eventually 6 months down the road, you got to half your body weight in ounces, which is where you should be. Okay, so that would be now, there would be no question after that amount of time that, okay, are you drinking enough water? Well, yeah, you are, because you created this sustainable habit over time that now it's not even on your mind.
It's mindless, right? You're not even thinking about it. You just know, because you've created this habit of going for the water instead of the pop or the sugar drinks or the energy drinks or the coffees or the whatever drinks, right? You know that you feel better if you drink water. You know what you feel like if you don't drink water.
Yeah.
It just becomes a more successful way to deal with it. And that's, something that we can take into, diet and nutrition also, is not, I want to eat more vegetables. Well, I want to eat more greens, or I want to eat whatever, less processed. I want to eat less sugar. I want to, whatever these things are, right? You can fill whatever goal, right? Goal X, fill it into the exact
here.
Fill in the blank, right? There you go.
That's it. Well, I think no, that was a great point. I think that I say the nutrition industry a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about this for a split second. It popped into my mind while you were on that monologue, which was great.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You're passionate about it. There are a lot of good people out there in the nutrition industry trying to actually really help people.
Absolutely.
There's tons of people in many, many circles that are doing fantastic. So I should more or less refrain from saying the nutrition industries, and I should say the diet industry. Diet. Okay? Diet culture. Okay? What pops into my head when I think of that is a casino. Okay?
Okay.
A casino is set up from the second you walk in the door to separate you from your money. Now,
Correct.
I know there will be one person out there who will leave a comment in the comment section. They'll unicorn me, and they'll tell me about the one time they went to Vegas and they won $50 and they got a free steak. Okay?
Yeah.
Over time, you will lose, and you will continue to lose because the rules are set up for you to lose.
Yeah.
The rules of blackjack are set up for the house, i.e. the casino, or in our case, the diet industry, to profit off of you.
Yeah, so you may win in the short interim, right?
But
you may lose some weight. You may follow this diet plan. You may see some of the results that you're looking for. But over time, is that going to be sustainable? Are you going to be the winner, right, over the long haul?
No, you won't.
Yeah, so the longer you stay in a casino, the better your chances are of losing and walking away empty-handed. And this is
yes. So when we say like how because we have to define terms. Like when we work with a lot of people here. We have some successful programs going at the moment, and
I like to think so.
Yeah, when we say diet, we don't mean like a written out meal plan.
No.
Right? Okay, because we're not food fascists. We're not going to sit here at 38 years old and tell another grown person, I know I don't look 38, but I just said it out there, okay? We're not going to tell another grown person what to eat for breakfast. The idea of that is so nauseous to me that it's unbelievable. It's sickening.
We can go on a huge
we'll
thing about that, but
you
should be able to know how to make your own choices.
And we will show you how, right? Okay, that's one thing we'll do. We'll show you how to make the right choices, but we're not going to tell you what to eat.
Correct.
Okay, so those rules from the diet perspective are set up for you to fail.
Correct.
Okay, so, and the research is overwhelming to the tune of 98, 95%, okay, of people who go on diets fall off of them. They don't stay on them. Now, they're going to pull a thing, well, like I posted on our Facebook, in our Revolutionary Nutrition, that's our nutrition program, in our private Facebook group. I posted that the other day about, hey, insert life event happened I got in a car accident. I had a kid. Somebody got sick. I lost my job. And then the diet thing you were doing, somehow it didn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Due to life event. No, it didn't work due to life event. It didn't work because it was unsustainable.
Correct.
Because the rules that govern the process that you're going through, you're not able to follow.
Yeah.
Therefore, making it unsustainable. So the keto, I'm gonna eat zero sugar, even though, hey, I know that all the physiology books say that my brain operates on 130 grams of sugar a day. I'm gonna eat zero, no big deal. Okay. You get into a thing at work where you're in a project or you're in school and you got to use the old noggin and you got to do it over and over and over again. Your body tells you after a while, oh man, I'm roasted. Why? Oh, well, because we don't have any energy coming in. Oh, okay. Well, there goes that plan. Or the workout plan. This is even more egregious when we get into training, right? Because Downriver loves their 6 day a week, 2.5 hour a day, 2 times a day workouts to look good in a shirt. They just got a love affair with that nonsense, but that's for another podcast. Okay, it's equally as ridiculous on the nutrition side. So it's I want to eat out of the left side of their neck. I want to eat whole foods and I want to eat unprocessed. Out of the right side of their neck comes an ad for protein bars.
Yeah.
And these potions and shakes, and that's what I'll call it, potions. I like that better than shake. These potions, right?
Yeah.
So you see things start to conflict themselves. Like we ask people all the time when they say, well, I don't, I follow this certain set of rules, and then we bring up one point, and then all of a sudden their rules become moot.
Yeah, I think to clarify and maybe simplify a little bit is if you are on a diet plan that has a name, it's probably not going to be sustainable, right? If you have a strict set of rules, it's probably not going to be sustainable. Unless, of course, it's in line with your core values, your personal morals. That's going to be a completely different story. Obviously, somebody who is, vegan and sticks to a vegan diet, that's going to be sustainable for them, even though, yes, it has a name. Right?
and let's say
that's in line with their own personal core values and morals for themselves. That's not going to be a problem.
Yes, let's make something very clear though on that. Just because that person sticks to that does not equate that they're healthy.
No.
Or they're well.
No.
It's just that they stick to that. Okay.
Yeah, it's sustainable for them. I'm not saying anything's healthier than the other.
Yeah, we're not talking, because we got to make that clarification, because you're not talking about results. Okay, there are plenty of vegans and vegetarians that are on high blood pressure pills and all the rest, and cholesterol meds and blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah, you can be vegan and smash a box of Oreos in a sitting. I mean, and still go, well, yeah, but they're vegan. Yeah, I mean that's
vegan Oreos.
Yeah, no, it's true, right? Because there's no animal. Whatever. That's that's a completely different point. However, I'm just saying that if you put a name to something, I'm keto, I'm paleo, I'm carnivore, I'm whatever, right? There's probably going to be rules associated with that may or may not be sustainable for you. If, you want to cut oil out of your diet, which is a great idea, but you like going out to a restaurant, I have news for you. It's going to be very difficult for you to stick with that and sustain that style of, eating choices just because one rule doesn't align with another, right? You're not going to go to a restaurant. Very rarely are you going to go to a restaurant and ask to talk to the chef and go back into the kitchen, and they're going to allow you on the line, right? And the sous chef is going to allow you to process your own stuff and cook it however you want to do it. It's probably not going to happen. They may tell you, they'll do the best they can, but if cutting out sugar is your main goal, and that's a great goal to try and stick to, but if you're being honest with yourself, right, you're gonna find sugar in a lot of things.
In nearly everything.
You don't want to give up drinking your bottle of wine. I hate to break it to you. There's a lot of sugar in that.
There's a little sugar in wine.
Right? And it may not be added sugar like like when you make Kool-Aid and you add like all the cups of sugar, it may not be like that in your bottle of wine, but there's still going to be a sugar content, right? So I like to drink coffee. Coffee's great. I love my cream and sugar. I love this stuff. Okay, how can I cut out sugar? Well, if you really want to do that, you're going to have to make some sacrifice, and that may be flavor, right? That may be that sweetness and energy boost in the morning that you're getting. You think it's from the coffee, but maybe it's from the sugar content. Maybe you're getting that from like your specialty, your flavored creamers or your syrups or whatever you're putting in it. Okay. So again, if you want to, cut out sugar, there's going to be some sacrifice. If you want to cut out meat, there's going to be some sacrifice. And as long as you are okay with the sacrifice, then that's okay. But also know that it may not be sustainable over time.
So you're saying, in essence, that you kind of can't have your cake and eat it too, sometimes. Like if you say, hey, but that would align back to what you talked about earlier with core values. So if you're okay, if your dream involves cutting out sugar, then you're going to be okay with it because that's what you're really committed to. So you'll understand, hey, listen, I can't have the easy example, like, okay, I'm going to eat like a caveman, but then I go to the store and I buy the paleo brownie.
Right.
Okay. This again, here we go. Diet industry nonsense.
I can't imagine that a caveman was making brownies in the
Yeah. Or like my old joke of like, hey, I eat paleo. It's like, okay, I'm yet to look out this back window behind us and see someone chasing a boar down the street with a spear. Okay. So like we have to be honest about what we're saying. We have to have a dream.
Yeah.
And then we have to look at that and say, okay, what are the behaviors that are going to be affirmative to that dream that are going to allow it to be sustainable? So wiping out everything all at one time, probably not going to be sustainable.
No, and again, setting yourself up for failure.
To fail.
I mean, you want to give yourself the best chance of success, right? We all want to be successful in whatever our endeavors are. We all want to be successful in life. We want to live a long time, I would think. We all want to be healthy. We all want to stay out of, the medical spiral, I would hope. If that is the case for you, and I hope that it is, then you need to set yourself up for success. And whether that means a little bit more water, maybe that means cutting back on, some of the unhealthy things, that's fine. Let's face it, we live in a modern world. We're busy. We're surrounded by fast options. We're surrounded by packaging. I see red every time I go to the grocery store. My cucumbers are packaged in plastic. I don't understand that.
Or the plastic inside of plastic. Yeah.
That's going to be another topic for another day. And if you want to hear me majorly rage,
yes, we'll do that one next. Let's do that one next week.
It will involve packaging and the overabundance of it. However, we'll circle back.
Yes. Well, no, hold on a second. Hold on, real quick. That's a good example of a rule. So if you're going to come and say, I'm going to not eat processed, I'm going to severely cut back on processed food, this diet, no more processing. Well, then if you're going to the store and you're buying things that come in packages, that's processed.
Yeah.
So would that be a goal that is sustainable? No. In 2020 in America, I mean, you're really going to have to put in a level of work to do that. Is it possible? Yeah. I mean, I just experimented, or I had that. Remember, we talked about this last week. I had this idea. I was like, hey, it's getting warmer out here. We're in Michigan. It's starting to get warmer, hopefully. I'm going to start riding a bike to work. Yeah. I'd really like to ride my bike to work. I instant messaged one of my buddies that I went to school with, who's really into bikes, knows a lot. Hey, what kind of bikes should I get? I'm all getting into this thing, right? And then I look and I go, wait a minute. I live like almost 20 miles away from where we're at right now. Like, this is going to take me like an hour and a half to get here.
Yeah.
And then I got to work all day. I know it is work. I mean, it's surprising to some people. But I got to work all day and then ride an hour and a half all the way back home. Like, dude, and it instantly took like everything out of my sales.
That's a perfect example though. If that, lowering down on your carbon emissions and you want to be, more natural and you want to get away from that, that would be something that would be a sacrifice that you would just be willing to deal with.
So like
riding in extra early and the leaving and coming home extra late, regardless of the weather. If that was something that was really, 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 important to you, and that would be a sacrifice that you would just have to eat and you would, you would deal with.
And where I'm at in my journey of that, I'm not ready to
make
you're
that
not
there.
Right. I'm not there, right?
Yeah.
So that's like, that's okay that I'm not there. But now what are some other ways? Maybe I start off with, okay, I take a day that I don't have that many people, like, which for me, that would be like a Friday or a Saturday, where I only work, like on a Saturday, we're only here till noon. So it's less of a thing. Maybe I start slow and work into it versus I go put a for sale sign on my car and then I just automatically go buy. Now I'm in it.
Again, getting us back onto track of No Rules Nutrition is, again, simplifying what some people want to, take us off into like a crazy ozone.
Sorry.
You aren't ready for that huge change.
Yeah, it's big.
Right?
It's
so
big.
you would need smaller incremental changes to be sustainable over time so that hopefully after a specific amount of time, you will reach end goal, right? End goal X. And it won't feel like such a humongous change because you've made those incremental changes. And B, you will ultimately reach that goal and you will be happy with where you are and you will be able to sustain that, right? If anybody is noticing, our word of the day is sustainability.
Yeah.
You will be able to have success in that endeavor because you will do it in small incremental changes. And that, I think, is exactly what we are talking about with diet and nutrition.
Okay, so to wrap it up, to finish up, give me your favorite, as I have mine. Give me your favorite rule that just drives you like wild. Give me one. I have one.
Okay, give me yours. Give me yours first.
I have two. I said one earlier. The eating after a certain time.
Okay.
So like, food gets magically metabolized differently at 7:01 than at 6:59.
Yeah.
That is maddening. I'll give you three.
Okay.
That's maddening. The counting is maddening.
Oh, calorie counting?
Calorie counting is insane. I take an inaccurate label and I live by it. Or we've seen some people come in here from places that shall not be mentioned.
My watch that I wear loosely on my wrist told me that I burned 50 calories.
Yeah. Or like I'm going to eat 13 almonds. They have on a piece of paper, snack, 13 almonds, and then you literally see them count out 13.
Yeah.
Like that's a rule that is hilarious to me. And then the last one would be the magical power of food.
Okay.
So like behold the grapefruit and its magical metabolism boosting properties over that of any other food. The Amazonian superfruit.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay,
those would be mine. Go ahead.
Okay, so getting away from packaging, because that's a different...
Yeah, save your fire for next week.
Yeah, that's a different topic for another day, but that is a huge thing, is packaging. But I definitely have a hard time with people not going back to the basics, being so into their chia seeds and their goji berries and their, whatever, Madagascar figs and all these things. But like they're worried about eating like a Honeycrisp apple. Or I don't want, I'm not really...
Madagascar figs.
I don't know. Whatever. I don't know.
I want to try them.
Sound
delicious.
I'm making things
Okay,
up.
go ahead.
Clearly I'm exaggerating for theatrics.
That's okay.
But I don't like when people say, you're going to eat a bowl of oatmeal. Isn't there a lot of sugar in that? Isn't there a lot of carbs in that? Well, all the while they're eating some prepackaged, protein bar laden with chemicals. That seems to bother me a lot. Or, I would never sit there and just eat, a lentil patty. What is up with that? There's a lot of carbs in that, or what's in lentils, or what is this, or what, you know, I mean, it's like, but you'll go to the fast food wherever and pound 3 patties of, you don't even know if it's real meat.
Pink slime.
I mean,
Okay, so you got quality. So you find rules around quality to be offensive. Food quality.
Yeah.
No, I can hear you on that. And I think to sum it up,
I like to go back to basics.
Yeah, to sum it up, you have to go back to the basics, and and find what is going to work with you and what is going to work with you over time. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, the timeline is your whole life.
Yeah. There's
if
no
finish
line.
Yeah, if you plan on living to, I plan on living to 100. Well, I have like 60 some years left. Okay, that's a long timeline, right? So, what are the things that are going to work best for you? Okay, what rules are you going to, if you are going to call them rules, what are you going to follow that is going to help you to reach your goals in the long term?
Yeah, I mean, again, real simple. Go back to the basics. Are you hungry? Eat something. Right?
That's a good rule.
If I'm not hungry anymore, I'm going to stop eating. Just because my plate is full doesn't mean I have to finish it. This isn't the 50s where you can't leave the table until your plate's clean, right? Most of us are adults, I think. Make your own decision. If you're full, stop eating. If you want to go to a restaurant with your girlfriends, go ahead. Don't be so neurotic about all the rules and all the things, and because you're setting yourself up for failure. So if you want, you want to go to lunch and you want to go, I don't want a salad again, I want to have a sandwich, go eat the sandwich. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't worry about it. Make the best decisions that you can make for yourself. Everybody's different. Everybody's needs are different. Maybe you wanna just eat fruits and vegetables for a while and see how you feel. Maybe you decide, you know what? I wanna, whatever. Doesn't matter. Whatever example you want. I want to eat this, or I don't want to eat that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Make that decision for yourself. But know that if you have a goal, get yourself back to the basics. Don't be super neurotic about your rules. Don't have all these diet journals and nutrition calculators and, all these different apps and all these different things. Just eat when you're hungry. Drink some water when you're thirsty. Move your body. And, the miraculous machine that the human body is will take care of it.
Yes, because there have been, and it has been documented that there were people that were in tremendous physical condition long before the advent of protein powders, long before the advent of supplements, long before the advent of packaged foods, long before the advent of GMOs and chemicals and nonsense. There were people that were actually doing their thing. Okay. So it can be done long before the advent of commercial facilities.
Long before the advent of supplements
long before the advent
packaged vitamins.
Yes, long before the advent of prepackaged foods and this, that, and the other. There were people doing their thing. So keep to your point, to keep it basic and to keep it simple. Will stand the test of time because that's worked since the beginning of time.
Yep.
So that's it. That's all. I'm done. That's all I had to say. Keep it simple, people.
No rules. Nutrition.
I'm Ken.
I'm Jen.
And we are the Holistic Revolution. Have a great rest of your day.